The billionaire businessman and investor Carl Icahn has a pillow in his office that says happiness is positive cash flow. What does he mean by that pillow? Let's break it down. What is cash flow? Think of it as an image of a river, but that river is cash. Man, that would be one hell of a river. Anyway, you want that money to always be flowing into you, whether that's income from your job, side hustles, whatever. You want that money to be flowing constantly into your pocket. Easier said than done, right? Later in this video, I'll help you create the foundation for this river. What about the positive part of the positive cash flow? This means you want your income to be greater than your expenses. So even at the end of the month, if you have $1,001 in income and $1,000 in expenses, that is still positive cash flow. Ideally, you definitely want more of a cushion than $1 in this example. But if you always make more than you spend each month, then you will never go broke, guaranteed. That's really it. I could end the video right here, but let's go a little deeper. Having positive cash flow is kind of the secret to financial freedom. As long as what goes into your pocket is more than what goes out of your pocket, you'll never run out of money. Now, of course, there will be times in life where your income and expenses will fluctuate, and you aren't living in a perfect vacuum where all your income and expenses are perfectly controlled all the time. But if you can avoid being cash flow negative most of the time, then you should do pretty well in life financially. Ideally, you want to be very cash flow positive. You want to have a large amount of cash coming in over what your expenses are. So the question is, how do we achieve this positive cash flow forever? You need to start by having information. Information is key, and without it, you'll never know if you're cash flow positive. The information you need to know is 1. Everything that's going into your pocket, aka income, and everything that's going out, aka expenses. Track everything in one place on one app. The app I recommend to keep track of your income and expenses is Empower.com, which I'm not sponsored by them. I just personally use it to track all my income and expenses. It's a pretty no-frills app and it's free. You can link your accounts and track everything. It's safe, and I've been using it for a couple years after Mint.com, my old budget tracker, got crappy. Check out the link in the description for the Empower link. It's important to track everything in one app so you can see exactly what your income is and exactly what your expenses are. Once you do this, log everything into a spreadsheet, at least for a while until you get a hold of your income and expenses. For income, if you're a W-2 worker or an employee for a company, you know pretty straightforward what your income is going to be every month. However, if you're a gig worker, a freelancer, or an entrepreneur, you'll need to project what your income is going to be every month based on the average of your past, say, 6 to 12 months. Find all the holes in your spending. By that I mean find all the excess spending. After going through all your expenses, try and cancel as many recurring subscriptions as possible. See what your dining out has been, for example, and try to cut back on eating out as much as possible. Look for Uber Eats orders or orders like that are excessive. Try to cut back on Amazon purchases that seem frivolous as much as possible. These are just examples, and you do want to have some fun each month too, which I'll get to in a moment. Then, it's unsexy to say, but make a monthly budget based on your average income and expenses. Not a weekly budget, as that's too extreme, and not a quarterly or yearly budget, as that's too loose. Tell yourself, okay, I know I'm going to make X amount each month if I'm a W-2 worker with a steady paycheck. If I'm a freelancer, I predict I'll make about X amount per month based on my past 6 to 12 months. Then here's what I'll be spending each month, and make a budget for every single expense you can think of. Rent, groceries, insurance, recurring subscriptions, everything. It's important to not leave anything out. If you leave anything out, especially big expenses, then you won't get an accurate picture of what your expenses are each month. However, there are 2 big caveats to all this. The first is to set aside each month a miscellaneous bucket for spending. This miscellaneous amount will give you room each month for unexpected expenses or anything you forgot to add into your budget. The second caveat is, once you determine all your expenses and a miscellaneous bucket for unexpected expenses, you'll then need to add in a little bit of your budget towards something fun. This can be something you really care about that you know isn't necessary, but it brings you happiness. This is so important, otherwise you'll go mad sticking to a tight budget each month. This should also be your reward for becoming good with your money and your cash flow. Now here's the big picture. For the rest of your life, all you have to do is 2 things. Work on increasing your income and work on decreasing your expenses. That's it. For some, this will be very hard or feel almost impossible based on your circumstances. For others, after you understand, track, dissect, and know all your income and expenses each month, it will be easier to see the holes and leaks in your spending. But here's where it gets fun. The art of getting rich is always having more going into your pocket, aka income, than what's going out, aka expenses. And this is positive cash flow. The more positive cash flow you can get, the more you can then do these two things: save and invest. Save cash for an emergency. Invest as much as you can from what's left over in your budget after all your expenses, and invest it into an index fund that will grow over decades, as well as invest in dividend stocks and dividend funds that will return 8 to 10% yearly. Now, there are dividend stocks that return 3 to 4% yearly. That's too low for my taste and a whole other video. Do your research. And by the way, this is not investment or financial advice. If you can grow your index funds and dividend stocks over many years, you can then one day withdraw a small amount from your index funds. Look up the 4% rule. And also live off the dividends of your dividend funds. And this will eventually supplement or replace your income depending on how much you're able to invest and how long you can keep it growing without touching it. There are many ways to invest, but investing in index funds for growth and dividend funds for income are my favorites. Do your research on this, and again, this is a topic for a whole other video, but I wanted to at least tell you about this. To summarize, it's really simple. Happiness is positive cash flow. What is positive cash flow? Having more income than expenses each month. How do you get that? First, track every single dollar coming in from income and every single expense. Then make a monthly budget. Spend the rest of your financial life trying to grow your income and reduce your expenses. That's positive cash flow. The larger this positive cash flow becomes, the more you can then save some cash for emergencies and invest the rest. With knowledge and a bit of luck with investing, your investments will one day supplement or even replace your income, and then you're financially free, and you can thank me later. Yes, this is my real voice and ideas. This is not an AI voice or AI ideas. I feel like I need to say that in this day and age. But yes, I do use images with the help of AI. Welcome to the channel Fascinating, where my goal is to help other people out by giving them tips and ideas for life, finance, and a different perspective. If you like what you hear, please like and subscribe to this channel so I can get paid by ads and I can keep making content for you.